Hi guys, today I'll be playing A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, which is a murder mystery visual novel that takes place in a French high school. And in this game we play as Mercredi, an aloof teenage girl who finds that her life is quickly and continuously going awry when her friend goes missing. This game contains graphic content such as murder, cannibalism. Oh man, okay. It's gonna be that bad. Okay, let's say Lier Septembre on jeudi. What does that mean? The 1st of September in July or June? I don't know. I wake up as one does in the mornings. It's the first day of school. I'm not very excited about today. Brushing my teeth, styling my hair, getting dressed. That's the part I enjoy. I just don't enjoy the people part. But I do have some friends. I'm not a total learner. You think being a hybrid of a sheep and a wolf, I have more of a herd mentality, huh? Ma fille, are you ready? Oh, how did I make that? Mercredi? Is that Tuesday or Monday? I think that's Tuesday in French, isn't it? I forgot. Not yet, Papa. I better start getting ready. I have to go to the bathroom. I look in the mirror. I notice strands of hair flying off my head, my uneven bow tie, and, worst of all, my features. I don't like seeing who I am. It's a reminder of what I am. Pity parties aren't needed today, however, I need to make myself look less like a dirty mutt. After running the brush through my hair a few times, I realize that the natural texture of my hair is odd. Ma fille, where are you? Oh, can I read this in French? Oh, I have to say it fast. Donnez-moi? Je suis I don't know how to say it. In a rush, I grab my satchel and put my hairbrush in it. Hopefully, I can just touch up throughout the school day. I make my way out the door, Papa following closely behind me. Even though he's my papa, he looks so frightening sometimes. So your dad is the one that looks like a wolf. This is worse. Oh. Aw, what's wrong? Nothing, Papa. But you're making such a face, ma fille. What is my girl? Oh yeah, that means my girl. No, remember. It's just a face I have, Papa. No, you have a beautiful face. Thank you. Of course, I don't know how to say that. And you knew? I think it's kind of funny he calls me that, even after all these years. He probably just says that because he thinks I look like Mom, though. You're making that face again. Are we close to the school? You've been going here for how many years and you still don't know the route? Well, I really didn't have an excuse. I have other things to think about. Like what? Everything? I have to think about how I'm going to go from class to class, who all I'm going to talk to, all I need to avoid, who are all viable options to partner with in case of group projects, and ma fille, you overthink. Well, I can't just be ignorant. If you don't weigh all the options, how can you get by in life? Getting by with happiness doesn't seem too bad. Well, we're finally here, aren't we? We. So scary. Have a good day at school. Phone me if you need anything. No, it's not. Yeah, I will, I promise. I slide out of the car, walking onto the school's grounds. I immediately see my childhood best friend, Cosette. Meh. Cosette? I feel the girl's warm hands wrapping around my waist, her face nuzzling into my chest. I'm so happy you came to school today. You look really nice. Why is her nose? Is her nose bleeding? Thank you. I put some effort in getting ready today. Well, it sure paid off. I love how you look this morning. You flatter me. Hey, wait, is that blood on your nose? Huh? Aw, crud. Did someone hurt you? No, not at all. You know how I would have nosebleeds all the time as a kid? Yeah, wasn't it just a side effect of the medicine you were taking? Well, it was, but when you're a rabbit, your blood pressure is really high. Is that true? It is? Yep. So now I get all these nosebleeds all the time. It's okay though, it's really not that so bad. It's just a little scary bleeding in front of the carnivores sometime. Why is that? Aren't you scared of carnivores, Mercredi? Well, I sort of was raised by one. Oh, right. Sorry. You're fine, Cosette. Other carnivores stop being too scary when you grow up with a black wolf. Yeah, haha. I'm glad you're only just adopted. I can't imagine how scary you look if you're actually part wolf. If she actually is part wolf. Yeah, you're right. He looks super creepy. Good thing he's not a jackass. Oh, his name's Pascal. Cosette, your nose is bleeding again. Yeah, I was just talking to Mercredi about it. Sorry, I feel like I can smell your blood from a mile away. Can you really smell that well? I guess so. Blood has a pretty strong smell, don't you think? Oh yeah, it does. Ferrets certainly do. Okay, Mercredi. Cosette, you want me to take you back to the infirmary? That would be nice. Hey, wait a minute. Which one? Would it be better for her to stay with her? Would it? Let's just say that. Don't be so mean. I'm not scared of Pascal at all. No, you know what? Mercredi is right. Probably be safer that way, huh? Plus, I promised Pierre I'd hang out with him. Pierre? Oh, I forgot. You went to another school for a year or two, didn't you? Yeah, I did. There's some new students here. Pierre is one of them. Pierre is a little intimidating. Oh, come on, Cosette. I know he's super tall and doesn't talk too much, but he's not so bad. I just get a bad feeling from him. Anyways, I think me and Cosette should get going now. Right. Have fun, you two. I'll see you both in class. Me and Cosette made our way to the infirmary. I don't think I've ever been here before, so it's a little strange. Looks like the nurse is checked out for the day. Is that a problem? You only have a nosebleed, right? Well, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe she has some medicine that could fix it? That's the thing? I don't know. Hey, it's okay. Do you want me to clean it up? That would be nice. Yeah? Yeah. Alright, come here. I pull her towards me with one hand, the other reaching towards a box of tissues on the sink. Their side profiles look... She looks more like a wolf. Like, this way. Is that not noticeable to anyone else? I realize now how soft and delicate she is. So small, too. I really do hope I don't frighten her. I don't think she suspects a thing, but... Mare? Oh, yes? You were totally zoning out. Sorry. I was just thinking. About what? Nothing you need to worry about, okay? Alright. Gently, I use a tissue to dab out some of the blood. I worry that if I do more so of a scooping or swiping motion, it only cause her bleeding to worsen. I'm not hurting you, am I? Nope, it tickles. Alright, well, don't move too much, okay? I don't think I've ever focused so hard before. It's just a little nosebleed. Why do you look all creepy? What? You were staring at me in a super scary way. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying not to hurt you. I'm already bleeding. What's the worst you can do? Yeah, right. If only she knew, huh? She has no clue she's alone with a wolf right now. Pascal couldn't and wouldn't hurt a fly, but me? I have the potential to hurt someone bad, too. Hey, I think you got it all. I did? Oh, yeah, I did, huh? Well, I guess we should get to our classes, right? Yeah. Alright. Do you want me to come with you? No, it's okay. You helped me with this, so I'll let you go on your own way for now. You know, I don't mind being around you, you know? You have such a silly way of talking, man. I like your company, too. I'll see you around. See you. Working my way into the school, seeing familiar halls once again. I have a lot of memories of this place, both good and bad. I I can't stop thinking about what past said. How many new students are there? How many of them will I meet, if any? Oh, okay. Is that a hyena? What's this? How do you say it? Okay, Gua? Gua? It took me a second to realize, but I had bumped into this stranger. He towered over me by at least 2 feet, seemingly barely even noticing I ran into him at all. Excusez-moi. Who are you? A rather clumsy man, apparently. Your name, I mean. Pierre. Oh, Pascal was just talking about you. He was? Yeah, he was going on about how a nice guy you were. I'd probably be considered more nice if I wasn't an obstacle for others. It's not like you can help being so tall, eh? You raise a good point. Hey, come to think of it, where were you going? Smoke break? Of course. I thought this was a high school. Smoke break. What's your poison of choice? I like cigars. My papa smokes cigars as well. Have you ever smoked them before? No, I'm too pretty to die of lung cancer so young. Are you saying I'm ugly enough? You said it, not me. Well, I do believe class is about to begin soon. It's a shame I only have a few minutes to smoke. Right, I suppose we will be going to our separate ways now. I don't know how to say that. I've never seen that word before. Farewell then. You should probably head to class too, huh? That is the point of school after all. Yes, unfortunately. Oh great, more new people, of course. Well, isn't that just the sourest face I've seen on a little sheep? Sorry, what? You make such a nasty expressions. A sheep like you should be a little more delicate in the face. Unless maybe you aren't a sheep. Obviously, I'm a sheep. Oh, how come you look so much like Noir when you're angry then? Who's Noir? My friend here. Go on, show her your scary face, Noir. Her. Good girl. Wow, what is she? Black Wolf? Arf? Can she talk like a regular person would? No. I wouldn't even know her name if it weren't for the tag on her necklace. How charming. Isn't it? Sure. Hey, wait a minute. The sheep walks up to me, circling behind me before I feel a tug in my tail. What are you doing? Despite being a sheep, your tail is so similar to Noir's. It's because I'm a Herdwick sheep. We have black tails. I'm aware, but it's not curly like a sheep's tail. So, it's fascinating. Isn't it a birth defect? Do you style your tail? I don't know, I was born this way. How cute, so mad over nothing. I'm not sure who they are, but I already hate them. What's your name anyways? It's rude to grasp one's tail without even introducing yourself. I'm L'Oreal. It means golden, like my eyes. How interesting. Yes, I think so. What's your name? Mercredi. That's my favorite day of the week. Why? Why not? Well, I suppose class is going to start any minute, correct? Aru? Yes, I do believe it is starting soon. Great, don't bother me for the rest of the day, okay? Oh, alright. Just stick with me as usual, Noir. Woof. What a fascinating pair. That was weird. After all my classes, I decided to go out of the school through one of the black doors. The sun is setting, making everything have a slight red hue to it. To my surprise, I see Pierre smoking a cigar. But due to our conversation earlier, I'm not sure if I should really be all that surprised. Oh, it's you. Indeed it is. I watched him throw his cigar to the ground, stomping it out, slamming out of embarrassment or manners. You caught me off guard. Better than me running into you head first, right? Yes, that's fair to say. Something wrong? Just the fact that I wasted half a cigar. Apologies, I can give you another pack when you run out. It's alright, that really isn't necessary. You sure? I really wouldn't mind. I'm very sure. I don't believe I even know your name. Making a stranger pay for my addiction would be rather rude. If I tell you my name, I won't be so much of a stranger, right? Well, yes. My name is Mercredi. Like the day? Yes, like the day. Interesting. I've never met someone with that name before. I mean, if someone's like not French, if your name is, I think that's a name that you can name someone if they don't know what it means. in French. It means Tuesday, right? Tuesday? I think it means Tuesday. Right? Tuesday, Monday. What is Monday in French? Monday was... I forgot. Really? I didn't know it was that uncommon. It's just a day of the week. Exactly. Who names their child after a day? Good point. Anyways, how long are you going to be here? Well, my mother usually picks me up at about 5. I mean, school years. Oh, right. This will be my last year of school. I'm 18. I'm 18 as well. Oh, that scared me. Let me grab that. When were you born? October 30th. And you? October 31st. Oh, that's interesting, huh? Very. About that time, I hear a very loud car horn honk. I recognize it at my spotter's car. Mercredi, do you live at school now? Well, seems I must go. Right. Goodbye, Mercredi. Goodbye. Oh, I'm saying it right. I see you've already made new friends. Eh, ma fille? That's not important, Papa. Whatever you say. I'm proud of you. You don't socialize very often. Never have, even when you were just a child. I suppose I never felt compelled to. I always found that so strange. Your mother and I couldn't stand to be away from our friends, yet you couldn't care less. Of course, she was more of a social butterfly than I. Everybody was her friend. Don't you ever want to be friends with everyone, ma fille? No, to be frank. Ah, right. I mean, being friends with anyone kind of like sounds pretty exhausting, right? As soon as we get home, I run straight to my room. I immediately lay down on my bed, the soft covers and squishy mattress immediately soothing me from my hectic days. Arguing with Pascal, helping Cosette, bumping into Pierre, those strange new kids. I can't remember the last time I had a day so chaotic. It feels so relaxing to be on my bed. I could just... You begin to dream of the beginning of the end. Beginning of the end? I'm in my papa's car. I'm driving down the road, somewhat fast too. I'm alone. There's no one. No papa, no other drivers, just me on one long, straight road. That's okay though. Like Papa said, I should start remembering routes. About that time, I feel the car hit something, lunges me forward, causing my head to bob slightly. Curious, I open my car door and walk out to see what I hit. I take in my surroundings. It's nothing but woods and a straight road for as far as I can see. I hear squeaky breathing from behind the car, followed by gurgling. I walk towards the noise and... What? Oh, deer! I didn't kill that effing deer. People need to know where they're going. If she knew where her dumbass was going, she wouldn't be dead. Did she ever think about that? What kind of ignorant asshole thinks they can walk into a street without getting run over? She's staring at me. Of course they made the character a deer. Quit scaring. Stop staring, stop staring, stop staring. Stop staring, stop staring, stop staring. Stop staring, stop staring, stop staring. I hate that dream, but it's a new day. Septembre, I don't know what that means. Un vendredi? Vendredi? That Thursday or Friday? Don't remember. Due to what I dreamt, I woke up somewhat early, had plenty of time to get ready, but frankly, I don't feel like it. Did that really happen? Is that a picture of her dad and her mom, I'm assuming? As I enter the kitchen, I hear a loud whirring noise. To my surprise, I see Papa. He's testing out the blender. Ma fille, what has you awake so early? What has you up so early, Papa? The hair de smoothie? Really? You're up this early to make smoothies? I'm just gonna say oui. Is that different spelling? Oui? Anyways, would you like one? Well, duh. Ha, I knew you would. Whatever, just make it a strawberry and a banana one. Oh, I know. That's always been your favorite, ma fille. Yeah. I watch him as he makes my smoothie first, dumping ice cubes, strawberries, and bananas in the blender. I notice he puts more strawberries in it than bananas. The The fact that he remembers I always want more strawberries than bananas in my smoothie warms my heart. Phil, do you have any plans for today? Just to try and manage at school today. Of course. You made new friends yesterday. We? Friends is a bold word to use. I met someone rather similar to me. I'm not quite sure if I can call us friends though. Similar? How so? Not a hybrid, if that's what you're thinking. No, I know that it's a rare occurrence. You're special. Not only are you my little agnew, but you're my chiot, ma fille, and you're the only one I have. I know, Papa. That's why you're so important to me. I want you to live much better than I. Thank you, Papa. You deserve everything. I would give you the whole world and more if I could. I think I want to drive myself to school today. Is that really a good thing? Don't you have that dream? I'm gonna say why? I want to drive by myself today. Are you sure you don't want me to tag along with you at all? No, Papa. I think I need just a little bit more time alone before school today. Well, alright. Your smoothie is done. Don't forget to bring it with you. Rolling my eyes, I grabbed the cuppy I poured the smoothie in. Oh, I'll need your keys. Of course. I watched him fiddle in his pockets for a moment. The jingling of the keys softly ringing through the echoey kitchen. He places them in my hand. I fist my hand up, the metal on metal contact making a light clink noise in my palm. Bye-bye, Papa. Salut, ma fille. I've been driven since that day I turned 18. When I put the keys in, the sudden rumbling of the car took me by surprise. There's so many components to a car, yet you never see it unless something is wrong. Although admittedly, I don't know everything about vehicles. I see Papa waving at me as he stands in front of the door. He looks so proud, but almost pained in a way. That isn't the task at hand. What's more troublesome than Papa's emotion is how I'm going to get myself to school. It's embarrassing to say, but seeing all the buttons and gears and levers on this car overwhelms me a little. And that dream, effing dream, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I'm sure once I get to school, I'll quit thinking about it. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't drive because of that dream. Oh, she's at school. Mercredi? What? Well, you look really bad today. Which is weird. You looked so nice yesterday. Is everything okay, Mercredi? Should we be honest and say no? What? No, it's not okay. Well, what's wrong? I don't want to talk about it, please. Oh, okay. Well, I'm here for you, okay? I know. Hey, how about tomorrow you come and visit my place? You mean your farm? Yeah, don't you think that'd cheer you up? Just like when we were kids, rolling around in the dirt all day, harvesting the food. Maybe we could even make dinner together. Like I said, I love that. I knew you'd say yes. Oh, but you do know all my siblings are gonna be there, right? The rabbits, they have a lot of... So? Well, the family's grown since the last time you came over. By how much? 2? 2? Doesn't that mean you have 8 little siblings now? Yeah. I'm sure I can adjust. Okay. Did you drive yourself to school today? Yeah, I did actually. That's amazing. I'm glad you're taking more responsibility these days. You didn't think I was responsible before? Well, you're mature, but you never really do grown-up stuff. What do you mean? You don't drive, you don't have a job, you just go to school. I guess so. I have a lot of school to do. I get that. I can hardly focus on school with the family and farm being so important to me. And I know you're not dumb. You're super smart. I just don't understand why you don't want to work more on your personal life. I'll worry about it when the time comes, Cosette. Right. Well, I think I probably ought to start making my way to class. I need to stop by the nurse's office to get some tissues in case I have a nosebleed in class. Did you bleed in class yesterday? Yeah, I did. I'm okay though. The teacher excused me and let me clean up. With this new problem though, learning stuff is going to be even more difficult. Hey, I'm sure you got this. If you can manage so much at home, school won't be much different. Yeah, you're probably right, huh? Well, I'll see you later, man. After school, maybe? If that's what you want, sure. Good. I'll see you then. Cosette begins to depart from the conversation, a slight skip in her step as she wanders away. What she said has really improved my mood for the day. As I walk around, I notice Pierre looks noticeably worried. Mercredi. Pierre? Pascal. You know him, right? Yes, why? I didn't see him at all yesterday. I'm sure he's just very busy with classes. He always takes time to speak to me at some point in the day. But I haven't seen him at all, not even this morning either. Look, I'm sure he's fine. Maybe he got sick and needed to take some time off school. I didn't think of that. See, there's options you aren't taking into account. Just be patient. He'll turn up eventually, yes? Yes, you're right. Alright, I need to get going. I as well. I'll see you again sometime. We. You two again. Yes, it is. What are you doing? Well, we go to this school, silly. Arf. Nora thinks you're rather dumb for not thinking of that. I knew that. I mean, what are you two doing in the halls? We're new here, so we just roam around. We find it rather interesting here. Why? Neither of us have been to a school so prestigious before. The uniforms, the way everyone here carries themselves, the decor. Everything just looks so expensive, does it not? I guess so. Wait, you two have never worn uniforms before? I sure haven't. For Nora, I can't really say. Rue? I don't think she has. Arf. It always appalls me when she barks and they act as though they can understand it. Maybe she can understand it. Maybe it's a true kinsmanship I'll never comprehend. I'm half of what Nora is, and I don't understand. Hey, wait, you two have never worn uniforms, correct? Correct, never. And is that why Nora wears a tie in her head? Nora wears her bow tie in her hair. Wait, did they? Bow tie in her hair? Nora wears a tie around her head. I think I've seen Noir wears a... Let's do this. Oh, rough, she does. Oh. Yes, I believe so. Makes her a rather cute accessory, right? Isn't it against the rules to not be wearing your uniform? She's still wearing the bow tie, isn't she? But it isn't around her neck. I think it still counts. Fine. How long have you two known each other? Only since you both arrived here. What caused you two to get so close? I'm the only one who really has enough patience for Noir. No one likes how she chooses to express herself. You know, with the barking and all. But I don't mind at all. I find it rather cute. Why? Well, most carnivores don't let their animalistic side show nowadays. So for someone like Noir, who chooses to let her animal out, well, I find it endearing. Have I ever been told how strange you are? Oh, all the time, yes. Okay, I'll leave you both to it. Class is starting soon. Oh, alright, Miss Mercredi. Don't call me that. Huh, it's so adorable when you cop an attitude. Shut up. Okay, Miss Mercredi, me and Noir will be out behind the school. Don't you have classes? We do, but we found class pretty boring yesterday. So we're going to skip it and see what happens. You'll get detention. I guess me and Noir will find out. Alright, well, I'm going to class. You got fun, Mercredi? Yeah, I'll try. I sit down and immediately begin to do my schoolwork. I don't want to deal with any more people today. I've had my fill. I'm stumped on the question, however. The D minor chord consists of what notes? Oh my, what? D minor chord. I want to get this right. I'm going to search it up. The D minor chord. I want to get this right. D, F, and A. Wait. D, F, A, D, F, A. F, sharp A. Oh, it's A, B, C. Okay, D, F, A. Is it sharp A? Let's try this. I'm sure that's correct. Let's hope so. It always confuses me though. I always associate minor chords with sharp notes, yet this chord has no sharp notes. It always feels as though it was in an awkward place as a chord sequence. I suppose that might be why it remains one of my favorite chords to this day. It's not what you expect it to be. It's not what I expected it to be. I wonder what others expect of it. The rest of the class consists of me answering various questions pertaining to music. I suppose it's mainly just to see which students will have trouble learning in this class versus the ones who practice at home or still retain their knowledge. I finished it pretty quickly, mostly just assuming and hoping through all the questions. You again? I suppose we run into each other frequently. You're telling me. Is it a problem? No, I don't really mind. I just haven't had the best morning, you know? I understand that. Well, I'll be seeing you, Mercredi. Right. Wonder what's got him so upset. Oh, Pascal. Mercredi. Pascal? Shh, don't be so loud. Why, what's going on? I'm trying to keep my distance from Pierre. Okay, why? I found out he has a huge history of violence last night. I know I'm a carnivore too, but I feel more like I fit in with you herbivores. I'm not really one for fighting for like some of the strong carnivores are. You sure have a few villains to pick with me. You always start it. Not to take a joke, mon ami. Oh, mon ami means my friend. Your jokes aren't very funny, Mercredi. I'm laughing. Okay, Mercredi. Just don't tell him you saw me, okay? Please? Fine, I won't. But he's been looking for you all day. Maybe you should at least tell him you don't want to hang out with him. I can't do that. Why not? What if he gets angry and hurts me? You got those sharp carnivore teeth, don't you? He's a whole foot taller than me, Mercredi. I have faith in you. Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to go now. Don't let him know you saw me. I won't. It's tempting to tell Pierre, though. If Cosette stopped talking to me out of the blue. I mean, Cosette. Well, it's not important. And speak of the devil, Mare. Hi, Cosette. You look a little happier since this morning. Still super messy, but at least you have more of a smile on your face. Yeah, at least I have that, huh? You hear a soft buzzing sound to which Cosette pulls out her phone. From her expression, I can tell it's a family member. Oh shoot, okay Mare, I have to go. It's okay, really. Please explain to the teachers I have to leave, okay? And no, I always have you covered, Cosette. Thank you, Mare. You're a lifesaver. Of course. We part ways, and I feel as though I have so much more to do today. Class again. What was the slogan of the French Revolution? Liberty, equality, fraternity, life. Liberty, life. Wasn't it B? Let me see. I want to get all these right. Motto of the French Revolution. I feel like it's B though. Liberty, equality, fraternity. Yeah, I knew it because that was the fraternity part. I remember specifically. I love that slogan. So many people fought so hard for all those things, and without that, I wouldn't be able to be who I am today. At my age, freedom and equality is something I don't feel as though I have. I know once I'm older, I'll live such a free life. Sure. And those around me won't look down on me. As free as you can get to be free. I wish I could stop seeing you both all over this damn school. You still make those nasty faces. What? Yesterday I tried to tell you look so ugly when you snarl like a dog. I don't snarl like a dog. Oh, you don't? Have you ever seen a mirror, Miss Mercredi? You know, I really don't have to put up with you. Fully aware. Then why do you act like this? You know it's just going to drive people away, right? I'm very aware. I've lost plenty of people in my life, but, well, I don't really think about the long-term side of things. It's much better to be in the moment. Why don't you think so, doggy? I'm not a dog. Woof, 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 woof. What was that about, Mercredi? Arun? It wasn't anything. Oriel is always pointing out things that are apparently dog-like about me. Really? You seem to be getting awfully defensive about it. I'm not getting defensive. Whoa, calm down. I'm only joking, Miss Mercredi. I just want you to get it through your thick effing skull that I'm not a stupid effing mutt. Okay, Miss Mercredi, I understand. I feel like Oreo knows that Mercredi is a half carnivore. Thank you. Well, I do believe it's getting rather late, Me and Noir better be going home. Right. Did you two really skip classes? Arf. Ref, ooh. Gurf? Arf, arf? She's trying to tell you about what all happened. It was pretty eventful. Woof. Well, good for you, Noir. Are you about to get home as well, Miss Mercredi? Yeah, why? Just curious. You try so hard to be so scary and mysterious, it's almost silly. I really hope I don't see you tomorrow, Riel. You both know you will. Whatever. It's Mercredi Wednesday. I don't know. It's so dark out. Uh-oh. I guess it's a good thing I have a carnivore's eyes. Still takes mine a second to adjust to the dark, but once it does, it's not much of a difference than being out in plain daylight. I feel as though there's still more I need to do, but I can't really think of anything I didn't do. I did my homework, I talked to everyone. So why do I feel like something is missing? Mathilde, you're home. Yes, I am. How was your drive? It was alright. I got a little lost, but I managed to get there in time. Good thing you woke up pretty early then, eh? Huh, yes, maybe even luck. Absolutely. Well, I'm tired, Papa. Big day, huh? Sort of. I don't know. It mostly just felt really long. Of course. Get your wrist, Mathilde. Thanks, I will, Papa. I wonder what happened to her mom. God, I almost don't want to go to bed. I know I have to, but after last night's dream... You know what? Whatever. I'm tired. I sank into my bed like quicksand. It's so calming to just be able to rest after such a long day. I began to dream of the beginning of the end. I'm in the car again, but it feels different. It's still just me, no one else. With the noises of the car feel more comforting. The vibrations, the soft hum of it, and the sound of the tires against the road. It's still dark though. I can barely see anything. Not like how it is in real life. But all of a sudden the car stops. Confused, I open the car door. Oh. What's going on? They're all gone. I can't help but feel I had something to do with it. At least it's not as bad as that car wreck, though. And despite the fact that they're dead, I feel comforted in a way. The people I know, dead or not. I feel more safe with piles of bones than my actual friend. I suppose that's not really a new development, however. When someone's dead, you don't have to worry about how they perceive you. They can't perceive you. You can think of them as much as humanely as possible, but they're dead. You don't know what you're thinking about them. They can't possibly know they're on your mind. They're either in a perpetual state of darkness, unknowingly rotting away, or somewhere better, I guess. Yeah, she's somewhere better. And all my friends are somewhere better too. They'll all be in a better place one day. Maybe soon, maybe later on in life. Maybe it will just be an infinite black void while the bodies they lived in become overrun with flies, rotting away. I'm sure one of them might want to be cremated, which spares them from being consumed by bugs. She has such dark and morbid thoughts. Sometimes I wonder what my mother went through. Did she choose to be buried? Open casket maybe? Maybe she wanted her ashes to be spread into the ocean. Something artistic like that. I don't want to ask Papa for the details. I know it hurts him to talk about it, even though it was 18 years ago. I wonder what happened. I wonder, does he ever blame me for what happened? It seems like he loved me so much, but Oh, she died during childbirth. I feel so guilty for something I have no control over, something I couldn't help. I'm sure if I could hear her, she'd be holding some grudge. Maybe Papa hates me for it too. But he's all I have. I'm all he has too. And at the end of the day, it's always just me and Papa. Feels like it always will be. I can't imagine anyone loving me more than him, but Is he really proud of me at all? Does he hold anything against me? God, I hate getting like this. A stupid dream that makes me question so much. Think about so much. I just wish I could have one night of good sleep, even though these three are all dead. I love you guys. I don't know why I felt the need to say that in my dream, but it lifted something off my chest. My dreams keep getting weirder and weirder. However, it's September 3rd, samedi. I get to spend today with Cosette after school. Here still looks like a mess. Well, it looks fine. It looks cool. I see myself in the mirror. It's not a pleasant sight, but maybe I can do something to change that. I take time to take care of myself today. Hair, makeup, even putting on a bit of perfume. I had to be presentable for Cosette, you know? Well, her and her family, of course. Good morning, Papa. Good morning, Matthew. How are you this morning? Not very good. Aw, what was that? I had a bad dream. It's nothing, Papa. Do you promise? Yeah, I promise. You'll all be okay. Well, alright. You want me to drive you to school today, Agnui? Yeah, that'd be nice, actually. Of course, then. Any plans for today? Yes, actually. Cosette invited me over after school. I'll drop you off there after school, then. Be sure to grab enough clothes for you to stay over there tonight. I'll keep them in the back of the car. Alright, I will, Papa. Cosette's father, Marquis, was it? Do you think he'd want to spend some time with me? I think they might be a little scared of you, Papa. They're pretty small and, well, you're not. Nonsense, Matthew. He may be tiny, but I'm sure he fears... Not sure he fears much, haha. Whatever you say, Papa. Oh, you. Too? Oh, what's going on? A student's body was found in the school grounds this morning. What? They found a dead body on school grounds. They said they've been dead since yesterday. How no one found it, I don't know, but... You have such a horrible aura to you. What? Do you think a sheep like me did it? Miss Mercredi, don't joke right now. I promise you I didn't do it. If I did, I'd be a little less shocked to hear about it. You don't seem shocked at all. I'm good at hiding it. Something is wrong with you, and I know it. Alright, Oreo. Does Cosette know about what happened? You have a good day, Mercredi. Oh no, it's not Cosette, is it? Goodness, they're so odd sometimes. A sheep's mother may be referred to as what? A sheep's mother? I don't know, Aries? I think it's funny, my mother was an Aries. I suppose it's only fitting, given her species and all. I wonder, would we get along? Would we be compatible? Would I always bicker back and forth with her? I wish I could know. How strong is a wolf's jaw? I want to get everything right. Let's see. How strong is a wolf's jaw? A wolf's jaw is... What does PSI mean? No idea what that means. I don't know. Let's guess. 750? That's probably how strong my bite is. I suppose that's rather strong, but definitely not as strong as a wolf bite. When do a rabbit's teeth stop growing? Rabbit's teeth? I don't know. 825? That's when the brain stops developing. And those are both parts of your head. Makes enough sense, right? Pierre, is that you? Don't talk to me, Mercredi. What? What happened? You'll find out, won't you? It's Pascal. If you say so, I really don't get why I have such an You know damn well why I have an attitude. He storms off. I watch him take long strides, running his fingers through his hair, presumably to calm down. Maybe Pascal took my advice and told him? That could explain why he's mad at me specifically. Mare! Okay, she's not dead. Who's dead then? Cosette. She runs up to me and I immediately hug her as tightly as I can. Mare? Yes? You're strong, huh? What? I didn't even realize, but I picked her up when I hugged her. It's okay, don't look so worried. Cosette, you're bleeding. It's fine, man. My heart rate just went up, that's all. Did I do that? Well, sort of. You picked me up so suddenly, it surprised me. Yeah. Sorry. Like I said, you're fine. I'm gonna drive home now. I'll see you there. Yeah, you will. Sweet. Bye, Mercredi. Bye, Cosette. Wave goodbye, Cosette running to her car as I hear my father pull up in his own. Did you have a good time at school, ma fille? Not really. I'm super excited to be at Cosette's place. But something has you excited, Mercredi. Never calls me that. Everything okay, Papa? Yes, all will be okay. You're excited to see Cosette and I'm excited to see your father. Ah, right. Were you two friends in high school? Of course not. But I believe your mother knew him, that's how we knew each other. Oh. She had many friends. Most of them, they didn't like me. They always blamed me. But Marquise never did. He saw past my scary outside. He respected me for how much I loved you, even though your mother was, well, not the best at times. I'm sorry, Papa. You know, none of it was your fault. At least, I hope you do. You do know that, right? Well, sure, Papa. Oh my god, there's a lot of them. So many kids. I don't think I've seen such a big family since I last saw the DeBlancs. Ah, Marquise. John. Looks like a hippie. I watch as they hug each other, Papa towering over him by around 2 feet. I can't help but giggle a little. Oh, she's wearing that same outfit. Oh, and little Miss Mercredi. I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, yes, it's been a while, sir. Your family has grown quite a bit. Yes, it has. There's countless kids running around now. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think it's amazing to have so many children. I don't think I would ever be capable of running a house that has anyone more than me and my daughter. It can be pretty difficult, but they do help each other out a lot. Cosette always helps care with dishes, farming, taking care of her siblings, and things as such. How wonderful. Speaking of things that need to be done, Mercredi, Cosette mentioned wanting to harvest food with you, as well as make something together for dinner. Yes, we talked about it yesterday. I'm more than willing to help out in any way I can, ma'am. Alright, wonderful. I believe she's still cleaning up, but you're free to go in and check on her. You remember where everything is, right? I'll find my way around, ma'am. Good luck. I'll probably see you around dinner time, Mr. Mercredi. I call her Miss. Yes, sir. The house looks so empty when everyone is outside. It's been a few years since I've been in here. Since the family's grown, that only means the architect of this home has grown more complicated during my absence. I noticed a familiar set upstairs. I slowly open the door, peeking into the room for a moment. Cosette, are you in here? As soon as I ask that, the smell of blood hits me. Mercredi? Oh, hi, Cosette. Yeah, but feel my face get warm as I see what she's wearing. Why, are you in love with her? Something wrong? No, not at all. I'll let you clean up by yourself. Oh, come on, man. That's silly. I invited you over because I wanted you to be here. You're gonna sleep in me. You're gonna be sleeping in my room, anyways. I am. Yeah, just like the good old days. Yeah. Hold on, that reminds me. Watch her run around her room, picking up various pictures. Some have frames, some don't. Huh, there it is. She runs up to me, handing me a photo. This is for my 11th birthday. It's a cute photo. I kept it. After 7 years? Well, yeah, what was I supposed to do with it? Well, I don't know, but I think that's really sweet of you. This picture is so nostalgic, and I remember the day so vividly. Mare? Oh. That's Mercredi? She looks more like a wolf sheep than she does now. Cosette. Happy birthday, we have a very big surprise for you. You didn't have to do that. As long as I get to spend my birthday with you, I don't care what happens. And she used to have yellow eyes. At the puberty, that's why she changed? I'm kinda confused why she changed all that. You're so silly. Come on, let's get inside. Mom's working on your cake. A cake? But that's not even the big surprise. Cosette took my hand and dragged me into her house. I was so young and delicate at the time. Even a little bunny rabbit like her could swim me around. Mommy, Daddy, Mercredi's here. Well, if it isn't the birthday boy. Whoa, did you get taller, big guy? A little, sir. Wait, Mercredi's a dude? I'm confused. Let's just continue. A little, sir. That's awesome, buddy. Your horns are growing too. They are? It would seem like it. Awesome. Did you know your horns will ever stop growing? What? Your horns are kind of like our teeth. Neither of them ever stop growing. Oh. Really? Rabbit's teeth don't stop growing? Really? Man, I'm gonna have the biggest horns ever then. Smokes! I almost forgot. Her father, Marquise, opened up a drawer, had various ribbons, candles, and party hats. He had put one on me, as well as a birthday boy ribbon. Thank you, sir. Of course, Mr. Mercredi. How about I get a picture of you and Cosette? A picture of me and Cosette? Yeah, let's do it. Was she a boy before? She decided, to be your true self? That's what I'm getting from this. That was such a nice day. Cosette? Sorry. While you were looking at the picture, I figured I should get finished cleaning up. You seemed pretty entranced by it. Yeah, I guess so. We were so happy back then. You aren't happy now? Well, things were just a little more simpler then. Yeah, they really were, weren't they? What happened? We got older, I guess. I never thought being older would suck so much. Me neither. But hey, what does suck is how we've been friends even after all these years. I remember so much of what you went through. Do you remember when you cut your own horns off? I was so scared at first. Then you looked at me and you looked so happy to not have those silly horns on your head anymore. I'm sorry for worrying you, Cosette. You're fine. You know what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, I remember it really well. What happened? I want to know more. The horns are significant? Mercredi? Oh God. What do you do to your horns? Are you okay? I don't think I've ever been better, Cosette. What? I didn't like being a boy. Oh, okay. I understand what's going on. Alright. So, male sheep have horns and female sheep don't? I guess that makes sense. I know I don't look very much like a girl, but I feel so much better without my dumb horns. Are you going to be okay? Do I need to get Dad to take you to the hospital? It's okay, Cosette. I know of what I've done. I'm happy with that choice. Does it hurt? No, not at all. Not as much as having them hurt. So you'll be okay? Promise? I promise. I really shouldn't have promised you that. Why? Because I'm not okay these days. Is there anything I can do to help you? No, it's okay. I'll be alright one day. Well, okay. Hey, you said you wanted to go out and gather some food, right? So we can make dinner? Yeah, don't you think that'd be nice? Yeah, I do. Does he have a frog in his mouth? Maxine? I call Maxine. What does Alexander have in his mouth? A frog. You just let your brother eat a frog? Yeah. Watch as Cosette storms up to her younger brothers, pulling the amphibian out of one of their mouths. Alexander looks rather upset about it. You look familiar. Me? I think I met you before. I think I met you when you were little, yes. Oh, I think I know now. Huh? What do you mean? I don't remember you, but my sister had tons of pictures of you. Maxine! I'm so sorry. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's okay, Cosette. I think that's adorable. Well, photos are super important. You don't have to justify it. Like I said, it's cute, Cosette. Right. Why don't you see if Mom needs anything? Okay. The two twins wander off, looking more like they're off to explore the woods and help their mom. Which is definitely what they're going to do. I'm so sorry about that, Mercredi. He's just a kid. I don't think he really understands. I've told you, it's alright. I think it's generally very kind of you. I don't know why you keep pictures of an ugly man like me. I don't think you're ugly at all. I think you're very pretty. You're just being silly now. I'm serious. I always thought that even when we were kids. You did? Why wouldn't I? Well, I didn't even look like a girl back then. I don't care what you are, Mercredi. I'll always like you. Oh, not a confession. I'll always like you too, Cosette. Well, we ought to start harvesting some food, huh? Yeah, of course. Me and Cosette begin to collect some of the plants they have in their various patches of vegetables. She knows that they have to bend over to get them, and she doesn't have to lean down very much at all. You're very tiny, aren't you, Cosette? Huh? Nothing. You're just so precious. Oh, thank you. Cosette's arms quickly get full. You go on inside, Cosette. I'll harvest some more plants for you while you get everything ready, okay? Oh, okay. She slowly walks away, trying not to let any of the vegetables spill out of her arms. Looking at all the dirt, I can't help but think of all of our childhood memories together. Another flashback. It was around dinner time. Cosette's mother told us to go out and harvest some fresh food to use for tonight's dinner. Looking back on it, it was rather sweet of her parents to take care of me so often. My father could barely afford dinner for either of us since he was a high school dropout. She took my hand. Have you ever harvested food before? No. That's okay. It's super simple. It is? Watch. I watched her as she got on her knees and grabbed what I assumed to be a pile of big leaves. As she pulled it, I realized it was a carrot. How did you do that? I just pulled it out of the ground. How come the leaves didn't come off from you pulling so hard? Well, I don't know actually. As I crouched down and reached my hand out towards one of the piles of leaves, I tugged at it, testing to see how strong I was in comparison to this plant. I knew that, as a wolf, I might underestimate my physical strength, but I also just might be as strong as any other herbivore. No one knew at the time. I managed to do it with just as Cosette did. The leaves and the carrot were perfectly intact. Whoa, that was easier than I thought. See, told you. You look like you were concentrating so hard, though. Sorry, I guess I kind of was. What? Are you scared that you're stronger than me because you're bigger? No, not at all. You're super strong, Cosette. I know. It's really because you don't weigh anything. If you were built like me, I probably couldn't pull you around everywhere. I'm glad you're so skinny, though. I like taking you with me everywhere I go. Why? You're my best friend. And you always will be, no matter what you do. Really? Really, Mercredi. I hope you'll always be my best friend, too. Of course I will, silly. When I come to, I'm already in the house. I brought the food. Awesome. I've already been preparing dinner with all the food I got. That's amazing, Cosette. Looking at the counters, I see an overabundance of vegetables, cut, shaved, peeled. All of what she had harvested was fully ready to cook, and it seemed like enough. Are you sure you'll need what I harvested too? Well, we do have almost a dozen people eating tonight. Right. Sorry, I don't have to eat dinner. I can find something else to eat. Don't have that kind of attitude. It's only just one more person than we're used to. You almost always make this much. You don't waste any of it? Nope, never. That's awfully impressive. Thank you. Of course, Cosette. I watched as she methodically dusted up what we all harvested with a pot of boiling water next to her. Do you want to help, Mare? How could I possibly help? How about you dump all the vegetables in the water? Alright, sounds simple enough. I mindlessly tossed all the vegetables into the giant pot. Said pot was ridiculously tall, the top of it reaching up to the bottoms of my eyes. Are you getting me to do this because you're a little too short? No, I make soup just about every night, in that pot too. How? I just do? Huh? Alright then. I grab a wooden spoon and mix everything around. There's something about the way she's cutting all of the food, the way the lighting just perfectly rings around her. She might be one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. Is the water too hot? What? You're bright red. Is the water heating you up? Try standing away from it. Yes, yeah, you're right. You're doing a great job, by the way. Really? Yeah. Well, thank you. We finished dinner, and it was a vegetable soup that consisted of a combination of every veggie you can think of. So, how have things been for you recently, Mercredi? Oh, it's been alright, sir. Just alright? Yes, sir. But spending the day with all of you has definitely improved my week. Thank you. Oh, no need to thank us, little lady. We should be thanking you for this delicious dinner. Oh, I didn't do much. That was mainly Cosette's work. You helped me get some of the food, plus you're the one who boiled it all. Well, thank you, but that's really nothing. That's certainly more than I do nowadays. Thank you, Mom. Ma'am. Gulped down my bowl of soup, feeling a little nervous in front of this family. Wow, you can really chug some soup, huh? Haha, yes, I suppose I can, sir. You don't have to use such formal language with us, kid. We've known you for a while. It's just a habit. Well, I'm tired. I'm going to get ready for bed. It's only 8 o'clock. I've had a big day. Okay, well, I'll be up there soon, okay? Alright, Cosette. I feel bad for leaving so suddenly, but I don't know, I like all of them, and it just started to feel strange. Being in front of such a big family is a strange feeling, since I don't have one. I have so many good memories of this place, though. I always felt so welcomed here, no matter who I was. Boy, girl, carnivore, or herbivore. I felt like I could kill someone and they'd forgive me. I watch as the door creaks open and a small crowd revealing Cosette's eyes. Mercredi, are you okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Cosette, I'm sorry. It's fine, I just worry about you. I know, I worry about you too. Is because of how big our family is? No, not at all. Well, actually, I don't know. You guys are so welcoming, but it just hurts. I know I'll never have a family as big as yours. Cosette sits next to me, holds my hand. I blink at her repeatedly, a little surprised. Says who, Mare? I don't know. Exactly, if you don't know, that means there's no one who said that, right? Yes, but I'm sure there are people who think it. What kind of person will be willing to marry a sheep who was raised by a wolf? Well, rabbits value family above else, so, it's just more about how they treat others, not how they were raised, you know? Yeah, I think I know. So, it's pretty late. Maybe we should go to bed? Yeah, I'm pretty sleepy. Me too. Today was a pretty big day, huh? Yeah, it really was. She pushes me on the bed by placing her hand on my chest. She then lays down next to me, grabbing me by the waist and pulling me close into her. Are you comfortable? I'm always comfortable when I'm with you. Cosette, I'm scared. Why? What's wrong? Can't you see what I did? What do you mean, Mercredi? I always hurt myself. I always hurt the people around me. I try to convince myself I'm better than everyone, but I'm not. I'm so mean. Everyone leaves. I'm not going to leave you there. But you are. That's what everyone does. I won't even be mad at you if you leave. That's just how it is. You're being silly. I'm here for you, okay? I'm staying, no matter what. Please just stop. I'm sorry, Mercredi. I thought I could help. You can't, okay? You can't help me. You're stupid for thinking that. Nope. No one can help me. No one can ever help me. I just want my mommy. Mare, you know she's... Of course I know, okay? That doesn't stop me from feeling like this. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You shouldn't be apologizing right now. I had no control over what happened to her. Neither did you. I'm sorry. Oh, that sucks. I wake up, the sun blinding me for a moment. It's December 4th. Colette's still holding me. Cosette's still holding me as tightly as she can. Her face is buried in my chest, and her tiny hands are clinging onto my shirt. I hear her groan as she wakes up and looks at me. Mercredi, sorry, I didn't make you uncomfortable, did I? No, not at all, Cosette. I find it really cute. You're very nice to cuddle with. Oh, well, thank you. Of course. I hear the door creak open. Good morning, girls. How are you two? Oh, it's interrupting a moment. Dad, knock next time. Alright, Cosette, I will. Promise. Just wanted to tell you two breakfast is ready. Alright, we'll be down in a sec, Dad. Of course. I closed the door, he had just barely opened. I hear him chuckling to himself as he walks downstairs. Sorry about that, Mare. It's perfectly fine, Cosette. It's not like we were doing anything. That's a good point. You're right, though. Your father should really knock more. I know, right? He never does. I guess I'm lucky to have a papa that's far more respectful than that. Yeah, you really are. I mean, it's probably because you're an overboard and he's not. Well, yeah, it's probably that. Things can get pretty awkward, I guess. Do you really think that's why he tries to keep his distance sometimes? Well, I know that's why I would keep my distance from my kid. Trying to run horrible experience is so different. It's hard for one to understand the other, you know? Yeah. Well, we should probably go down and eat, huh? Yeah, let's go. Okay. Walking down the stairs, I'm immediately hit by the smell of eggs, cheese, as well as bananas, apples, and oranges. Mercredi. Cosette, good morning, you two. Good morning, ma'am. Morning. How are y'all doing? Well, alright, Dad. Did you two sleep okay? I sure did. Mercredi, how about you? I slept very well. Hey, I think that's the first time you ever talked to me without saying sir. I don't call you sir that much. It sure seemed like it to me. Alright. So, Mercredi, how's school? Well, it just started, sir. Alright, how was that other school you went to? It was alright. I went to it for a year. Really? What for? It's a long story. Oh, alright, little lady. Well, thank you all for breakfast. Of course. Kara made it. Thank you, Kara. You're welcome. Oh, your name was Kara? Is your father picking you up, or do you need us to drive you home? I think he's going to pick me up, ma'am. Wonderful. You can go ahead and eat. I'm sure you can scarf it down while he's on the way. I'll go and call him. Alright, thank you, ma'am. Matthew, good to see you. It's good to see you too, Papa. Are you ready to go home? Did you have a good time? You seem to have an amazing time. It makes me so happy that our girls get along so well. Makes me very happy too. Thank you for taking care of her, Marquise. It's not a big deal. My kids are always inviting their friends over to play. I know Cosette and Mercredi are a little older now, but it doesn't mean they can't spend time together anymore. That's a good point. Still, thank you. You're almost as formal as your daughter, Dawn. I'm not that formal. Neither am I. To me, you two are. It's not a bad thing, though. I think it tends to be funny. Alright, I'll take out the compliment then. Well, we'll be going our separate ways now, Marquise. Alright, I hope you two have a good day. You too. Being around the Blancs in the dream I had. Papa? Yes, my fib? What was Mom like? Oh, never mind. You don't have to tell me. No, I think it's about time I told you about your mother. You deserve to know. It's been almost 2 decades. Papa, are you sure? I'm sure. It all started almost 19 years ago. I was 16 at the time. Your mother was 18 and was known for being very behind in school. I wasn't so unfortunate, even though I was from a pretty low-class family. I cared about my education and managed to get good grades. That day I met her, it wasn't pretty. What happened? I kept noticing your mother, Marty, everywhere I went. She would always stare at me, but because she was always with other men, I didn't take it as anything. Dude, have you noticed how she always looks at you? What? The sheep, she's staring at you like you're some of the tastiest celery she's ever seen or some shit. Celery? Yeah, or whatever lambs eat, don't ask me. Are you guys talking about Marty? Yes, why? I dated her for a bit. Oh, did things not end well? No, nothing like that. I honestly enjoyed dating her. But I heard she's got a thing for carnivores, specifically dogs. Why would a little sheep want to date a dog? I mean, lambs are so weak. They even have wobbly legs like deers do. Oh, I hear she likes a thrill. Oh, yay. That's okay. I heard that too. Well, alright, let's not say that. Okay, she didn't seem scared at all. If anything, I was sort of scared of her. Oh, okay. That's interesting to know. Oh, great. Not only does she have a king for trying to get eaten alive, but she has a king for making some poor bastard do that. Are you two sure it's not some big misunderstanding? What? Well, what if she likes the personality traits of dogs? Their morals or values? That's a pretty decent point. If that's what you think, why don't you talk to her? See how long it'll take for her... Okay, this is very sexually charged. You really think that'll happen? Dude, she's taking it from every single carnivore in this school. That can't possibly be true. Yeah, because she hasn't gotten anything from you yet. So you slept with her too? I'm not touching that. Oh gosh. I really think you're being dramatic. I'll talk to her. That way you guys will see she's really not so bad. Hello, Marty, was it? Oui, that is my name. I'm John Moore. It's nice to meet you. I shook her hand, feeling the responsibility to be gentle. I'm Marty Argo. It's nice to meet you too. I felt her hold my hand after I ceased to wave her arm up and down. You're a rather handsome man, John. Thank you, ma'am. You're very pretty for a sheep. For a sheep? Do you think sheeps are ugly? No, that's not how I meant that. I'm only really attracted to dogs. Aw, so you never thought about what it'd be like to be with a herbivore? Well, no. You say that as if you're unsure. No, I'm rather sure. I just don't know why you ask such a thing. You don't like the idea of having power over someone? Being able to have total control over them? No, that sounds horrible. What about the idea of letting someone have total control over you? That sounds even worse. Ha, he seems so scared of everything for a black wolf. Well, wolves aren't as brave as you might think. Really now. Yes, we just tend to stick with our pack. We only really enjoy spending time with those we love, not much else. How cute. How about I show you something? What are you going to show me? Something that you'll enjoy. Cover your eyes, okay? I did as she said, and I felt her drag me along. I was bumping into people left and right, probably because she was nowhere near as wide as I was. After several minutes of running, she suddenly slowed down. Come here. I could hear the smile on her face. I heard a door creak open, and she pulled me into whatever room she had brought me to. I heard the door close and lock. I opened my eyes before she said to do so. What's going on? We're in the supply closet, silly. Why? I read her slim and delicate hand rubbing up and down my chest. You really don't know why? No. Am I supposed to know? No, it's okay. I can teach you. Okay, you guys read this for yourself. I don't want to read this out loud. Alright, he doesn't just met. Alright. Well, that's messed up. I bet it'll say giant carnivore murders innocent sheep. Really wrong. Poor John. He said what he said. He doesn't know. Oh. I don't know. I guess, I don't know why her character. What did he just say? He can't feel it. He says, oh, okay. Me and you are dating now. I know Marty reminds me of Haru from Beastars. Kind of. Did she remind you guys of that? She says me and you are dating now. What? I thought you had a boyfriend. Oh, I did. But I'm going to keep your baby. I abort all the other ones, but, well, a hybrid of a black wolf and a sheep, that will make for an interesting story. Oh, and John, if you tell someone about this, I'll cut myself into bits and blame it all on you. She's not really that good of a, she's not that good of a person, is she? Goodbye, John. Goodbye, Marty. Well, a few months went by and eventually my friends found out. John, you really thought all of this would be a good idea? I haven't told you. Now look where you are. Really, Marty? You should have known better. She will tell everyone. Did you know? I'm pregnant with a carnivore. And she will tell them this over and over and over, again and again. Oh. Okay. I'm so happy. Aren't you excited, John? No, I'm not ready for a child, especially with you. Don't blame him. Well, you better start acting like it. This child is ours, alright? And everyone is going to know about it. It'll be a freak of nature, a real head-turner. Do you understand that, dog? I understand, yes. Good, I'm glad you do. She really took advantage of him. I'll be going to labor soon, and you won't have to deal with me for much longer. What? What do you mean? Did you really think a lamb like me could survive having a hybrid with a big, strong wolf like you? Well, I thought maybe. That's pretty funny. Hope being a single father treats you well, John. You're a nice guy. I couldn't have done this whole thing if you weren't so complacent. What do you mean? Well, I've always wanted to have a baby with a carnivore, but I wanted it to be something extreme, something that completely goes against everything we've ever known. And I'm sure you've heard all the old stories about wolves killing sheep, right? We aren't supposed to be together, and that's the part I enjoy. We're creating something new, something that has never been seen before. So, you just wanted to play God? I'm not playing God. Who's to say I'm not God? I don't think you're God. Aw, why? Did I beat the little puppy up too much? No, not that. God can be cruel, I know that. You're not God because there's not a single person who looks up to you. You don't look up to me? No, I really don't. What? I think you're a horrible person. You've done awful things, not just to me, but to everyone you meet. Hope you do die during childbirth so I can raise a child better than you ever could. You really think that? Yes, I'm tired of acting like I don't. I've been going along with your little plan and I'm sick of it. You're so cute when you're angry, John. God, stop saying things like that. Aw, why? Is the big bad wolf going to eat me? No, I'm not, because I'm not effed up like you are. Take care of the child for me. And you better let everyone know what it is every chance you get. Oh my god, she was a terrible person. Those were the last words she ever spoke to me. I remember the exact voice she used to tell me that. That tone, the pitch, the cadence, I remember it all. It was haunting. I always thought I would hate you, thought you would be the worst thing to happen to me. But when I saw you, I was overwhelmed. Never did I even think for a second that someone as horrible as your mother could birth the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I wish I could say I regret what I told her, but I don't. I'm glad she died. She would have corrupted you, and I wouldn't have the perfect little girl I do have today. Oh my gosh, she's terrible. I'm sorry, Matthew. That was a rather long story, huh? Papa, I'm sorry. Why? I look like her, don't I? I'm way more like a sheep. Matthew, that's what makes me happy. What? Your mother wanted you to look like me. She wanted to be an herbivore who had a carnivore child. I know it's spiteful to say this, but I'm glad she didn't get what she wanted. So you don't hate me? No, never. Like I said, when you were born and I saw you, I knew I could never hate you. I just would never have it in me. Really? Yes, really. Seeing you grow every day, seeing how far you come from your mother, that makes me happy. But you make me tell everyone that I'm a herbivore. Yeah, because that's the last thing she would have wanted. Not only would it put you in danger to tell people you're a hybrid, but telling everyone would bring her some kind of satisfaction. Even though she's dead, I really don't want her to be happy, even in the afterlife. I understand that. She seems like a really horrible person. She was. She really, really, really was. I'm proud of you for not being like her. You can look at pictures and compare all day, but who you are on the outside differs so much more from your mother that your outside barely matters anymore. So what if you're a carnivore, or herbivore, or both? You have a good heart, and that's what matters. Thank you, Papa. Of course, Matthew. It's late. I'm sorry for keeping you up. Go to bed when you can, okay? Yes, Papa, I will. Goodbye. Goodbye, Matthew. Dang, absolutely terrible. She really did that to him. Like, essayed him, and just took advantage of him because of how naive he was. No wonder he didn't tell her about her mother. She's just terrible in general. Ugh. But Papa told me today, I feel so horrible for everything he went through. Finally glad I have some closure, though. He said I wasn't as bad as my ma. If only he knew, huh? Does he find murder to be less punishable sin than what my mother did to him? I wouldn't blame him if he did. At least murder puts you out of your misery at some point. That woman has caused him a certain type of pain and suffering that will be lifelong. Murder? You begin to dream of the beginning of the end. So something did happen. This is a school I went to for 1 year. I didn't enjoy my stay for a plethora of reasons, one of which including... Oh, it's you. What? Aren't you that squeaky little choir boy that decided you wanted to be some kind of prissy princess? Please, I'm not a boy. You just think that you aren't. No, I know I'm not. If you think that I'll consider you a girl just because you ripped your horns off, you're wrong. You even have a stupid guy voice. Really? So you could tell me I wasn't born a girl? Yes, I could, it's obvious. And you look stupid running around cross-dressing. You probably think people see you as a girl, don't you? Oh, I don't think, Monchetti. I know everyone sees me as a girl because I am. You probably just think you're a girl because your mommy left. Struck a nerve, didn't I? Or maybe you were molested so much in a church. Or the preachers convinced you to be a girl so it wouldn't be considered a sin when he touched you. Oh my god. Do you want to know what I've always wondered? What? I've always had a rather curious as to what carnivore's diet is like. Huh? Don't you find yourself ever thinking about that? When I look at herbivores like you, don't you want to know what I think about? I think about tearing them apart limb by limb and eating every single part of them until there's nothing left. Oh gosh, just thinking about tasting your meat right now is making me drool. What? This is a prank, right? Where did I gain from pranking you right now? The thought of biting into your skin, savoring every cell that hits my tongue. Doesn't that thought just drive you up the effing wall? No, you're scaring me. Really, I heard that your flesh tastes even better. Without thinking about it, I pinned her down. Before she could even scream, I shoved my fingers in her mouth and scratched her throat as hard as I could. Something about the way I felt the blood trickle on my fingers and her muffled cry for help. I ripped her shirt to shreds with my claws as my mouth explored the most tender bits of the fallen's body. Using the torn pieces of the shirt, I stuffed it into her throat as far back as possible to shut her up. I snapped out of it very quickly. The hyper-arousal of the moment ended just as quickly as it started. Oh god. Oh, she actually did kill someone. I had ripped her apart more than I thought, but seeing it was such a sight to behold, I could see the holes in her body from where I ripped the chunks off with my bare teeth. Noticed organs that were missing because I ate them. And her beautiful large intestines wrapped around her so perfectly. If she hadn't assaulted me, this probably would have never have happened. I'm glad I did it, however. No matter how rude she was, her meat tasted perfect. I want to experiment with different animals, find the ones that taste the best, find the parts of them that taste the best. I wonder, how does rabbit taste? Oh no. I don't really like to think about that day. Killing that deer was so satisfying, but I don't want to hurt all herbivores. Cosette doesn't deserve to be hurt. However, I shouldn't think about that day because it's the new one. Septembre 5th, un lundi. I change into my uniform. The face of a murderer. It's one no one can love. Dang, he was hiding that deep, dark of a secret. Hey, Papa. Good morning, Matthew. Can I ask you something? Of course. What is it? Would you still love me if I killed someone? Why did you say it like that? Well, I'm not sure. I love you and I always want to support you, but why would you want to take a life? It'd be for a good reason, I promise. Then yes, I think I would still love you. It's wrong to kill innocent people, though. I know, Papa. Do you really think I can take an innocent life? I suppose I haven't thought about it. I certainly hope you couldn't. But there's some things in the world that I think could drive us all to hurt someone. Mom did horrible things to you and you didn't kill her. Because I don't believe in killing people. It's not something I ever do, but other people do it. And y'all usually have reasons for it. I thought the photo right here was of the mom. It was actually of little baby Mercredi. I'm so sorry, I thought it was the mom. Do you think that some reasons are more valid than others? Of course. Killing someone just for the thrill of it is completely wrong, but people who believe they are being treated poorly, I can't say I fully hold it against them. I'm driving myself to school today. Oh, alright. I open my hand, he drops the keys into my palm. Bye, Papa. Bye-bye, Matthew. But Papa said, would he hate me if he found out what I've done? Are my actions truly justified? Especially with what? Oh, and who died? Mercredi, is there any reason why you wanted to talk to me here? Yes, I have a question. Really, what's up? Do you like Cosette? What? Don't act stupid, you have a thing for her, don't you? No, why would I? You're always spending time with her and I just... Oh, so you have a thing for her. No, it's not like that. You two are just so close. Well, you and her are pretty close too, don't you think? You guys just seem closer. You fit better together. Is that so? I think you two pair nicely. You're being a kiss-ass. Why would I be kissing your ass right now, Mercredi? Because you're an effing idiot? As I snap out of it, I realize I'm already at school. I feel a wetness in my chest as I stare mindlessly at the building. Slowly tilting my head, I see Cosette holding on to me. Mère, Pascal, I hear her hick and pant as she tries to stammer out words. I gently run my fingers through her hair. It's okay, take your time, what happened? It was his body that the school found the other day. Oh, it was him. He was mauled to bits. Who would do that to him? I'm sorry, Cosette. But look at me. I'm going to find out who did it. I promise you'll get the justice you need right now. Really? Are you sure you can promise something like that? I'm sure, Cosette. Thank you, Mercredi. You're the best. Just try to take it easy today, alright? I'll try my hardest. Good. I'll see you around. Oh. I know what you freaking did. I look up at him, eyes trailing over every part of his lanky body. He had pinned me down, his claws digging into my arms as his jaw unhinged and yelled in my face. My heart speed up outwardly, though I had no fear. Really? What was it then? You killed Pascal, didn't you? You ripped him to bits. And you expect us to forgive you because you're some innocent little sheep? You're effed up. Whatever the hell you are, you're not a sheep. You're something horrible, and you're something disgusting. Is that supposed to offend me, Pierre? No, it's supposed to scare you. You think I ate your friend in cold blood, but you're trying to make me fear you? No, I know you can never fear me, even if I do hurt you. I want you to be afraid of what I know. You don't know shit. I know a lot more than you think. Really? So you know you can get in trouble for being a red-maned wolf that's pinning down a sheep, right? What? No. Please, I don't want to get in trouble. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Cassette. She has fainted. I suppose we both notice at the same time as he immediately gets off me and runs to her. He scoops her up. I'll tell you what, Pierre. If you let me carry her to the infirmary, I won't tell on you. If you don't let me take her, though, well, it looks rather suspicious for a wolf like you to be carrying a bleeding little bunny. Oh my god, she's so trashy, she's just like her mom. You're sick. You're the wolf. You always were, weren't you? What are you going to do with her if I give her to you? Same thing you did with Pascal? Yell for help. Keep quiet. I'm gonna keep quiet. I can never hurt Cosette. She's too beautiful. Would you rather me take care of her or be suspended for hurting a little bunny rabbit and a sheep in the same day? You did leave a nasty bruise on my wrist, you know. Fine. He angrily tosses Cosette into my arms. You'll get what you deserve soon enough, Mercredi Mort. Me and you both know that. I watch as he storms off, the clacking of his dress shoes echoing through the halls. What? Why would you do that, Pascal? What'd he do? Place her tiny, delicate body on top of the bed they have in the infirmary. I sit her upright and look at her. Oh, I went back. Whoops. Alright. Her blood smells so delicious. Oh my god, what the freak? I started licking it off her nose. It's a very odd feeling. Inside my mouth is very comparable to a dog, so I try to avoid eating foods where I have to use my tongue. It's one of the few dead giveaways about me. But there's something so satisfying about licking her blood like this, albeit strange. I try to be as gentle as I can. I don't want to hurt her. The blood just keeps pouring and pouring. I can only assume that's why she's passed out. What? Mercredi? Cosette, Sorry, I was just cleaning you up. With your tongue? Well, yes. Why do you have a dog's tongue? Oh? You're really dumb, aren't you? A little. Papa didn't adopt me. I'm his blood. What? I'm half carnivore. I've been my whole life. I mean, I guess that's a given, obviously. You've been a carnivore this whole time? Yeah, but does that really change anything? You've been my friend my whole life. You never knew. Girl, boy, carnivore, or herbivore? I've always been your friend. And I always will be. Right? I don't know, Mare. I need to think about it. I understand. I'm sorry. I love you, Cosette. I watch as she hops down from the bed and stands in the doorway for a moment, just staring at me with her big eyes. She walks away, no more skips in her steps. I can only wonder about what could possibly be on her mind. Hello, Miss Mercredi. You seem to be in a chipper mood. Well, I feel as though I shouldn't really cling on to things I have no control over. After all, I'm not the killer, am I, Mercredi? Does Ariel know? That fight you and the wolf had just gone into earlier, rather entertaining to watch. You saw all of that? Mm-hmm. I hear he's getting a pretty firm talking to by the principal. Really? Well, yes, just about everyone saw what he did to you. I'm sure there'll be headlines about a carnivore hurting a sheep or something. This makes for some fascinating news, does it not? Sure does, Ariel. Well, I'm off. I'll see you both around sometime, probably. Farewell, Miss Mercredi. How many keys does the piano have? I don't know. 120? 104? Wait. I don't know, 88? 88 is such a strange number. Why 88 specifically? I find it funny no one really understands the thought process behind that. It has the wildest range of notes any instrument ever, but why? What tuning is a cello in? Oh man, I have no idea. Let's see, G, A? I never heard or see someone play a cello before, but the other two are viable options. A is tuning of a violin and B is tuning of a ukulele. Oh, alright. I find it strange. All three of them are instruments with only 4 strings yet. Well, frankly, the cello is so different from them. It's a deep pitch, yet strings are tuned in. Perfect fifths. Here there's just more to the cello than meets the eye. When was the omnichord invented? I have no idea. 1996? I feel like that's a little late, but I wouldn't be surprised if synth music was still really popular at that point. Pretty sure it was, actually. You think I'm an idiot? Yes, I do. Well, why? If you don't even know why you're stupid, that proves my point even more. You're just mad because you think I'm dating Cosette, aren't you? No. Mercredi, I don't like her like that. I'm, not really even into... Well, I'll let you fill in the blank. But you're always hanging around her. She's my friend. How do I know you're not lying to get me off your back? Mercredi, you're being unreasonable. I'm not being unreasonable. He stared at me blankly. I could see him trying to process everything. What, did I scare you? Are you scared of a freaking herbivore? Well, every thought I ever had left my brain. I leapt on him and bit down his neck as hard as I could. I heard a small yelp, but he was surprisingly quiet for such a violent outburst. I didn't realize why I knocked him to the ground. Oh my god. Mercredi? Aru? Well, Mercredi, are you okay? What? You were zoning out. You look like a machine that had just been turned off. I'm just in my own head, thinking. About what? Are you thinking about that bunny girl? No. Oh. I'm thinking about the murder that happened recently. Right. It's rather scary when something like that occurs, particularly if you're a herbivore breed. Woo? And if you're a runt like Noir here, are you worried about being hunted like Pascal, Mercredi? Yeah, let's just say yes. Very. I am too. Especially due to the fact that I'm often told I run my mouth quite a bit. You just noticed? Well, people aren't exactly wrong when they tell you that. Oh, I'm aware. It's just anxiety-inducing now. What if a carnivore decides they have enough of me talking? What, like me? That would be pretty horrible for you, wouldn't it? It would. Well, me and Noir will be going now, once again. Skipping class? Yes, we pulled an all-nighter, so we're pretty exhausted with school today. Right, have fun. We will. I watch as they wander off, interlocking their arms. An herbivore and a carnivore. I always thought it was a bad thing. They seem to enjoy one another, though. Maybe every interspecial relationship isn't like mamas and papas? Mercredi! Cosette? I feel her tightly wrap her arms around my waist, her chubby face nuzzle into my chest. Nervously, I pat her head. What's the matter? I'm really sorry about what I said earlier. What? I was thinking about it, and I should always be your friend, no matter what. So what if you're some big, scary carnivore? I made a promise I'm not going to break it over something less silly as that. Cosette, you're too kind. I'm really not. It's just what you deserve, as my friend. Cosette? Yammer? Would you ever want to be more than friends? Mare? I'm sorry, that slipped out. That wasn't me. Mercredi, seriously, I had no control over that. Well, if I'm being honest, I did like you a lot, but I just think I need to process the carnivore thing, you know? Yeah, I know. But hey, she grabbed one of my hands, having to use both of hers just to hold my palm. Never say never, okay? Alright, Cosette. If only I were a real herbivore, huh? Don't think stuff like that. Sorry, I said that out loud. Yeah. I apologize. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I have to head home. I have to head home now. I'll see you soon, alright, Cosette? Alright, man. Bye. Bye-bye. I wave one final goodbye to Cosette. Her whole body moves as she waves back, standing on her tippy toes. Small, delicate, fragile. Everything a herbivore should be is what I should be. It's fine. I don't think anyone, especially me, would ever be as perfect as her. Ah, Mafil, you're home. Your smile is really creepy. Hello, Papa. It's good to see you. How was school? It was fine. There were a lot of police around. Alright. Pascal was your friend, right? It's been all over the news. How have you been managing? I've been okay. Just light overwhelming, seeing officers roam everywhere around school. Yes, I understand. Well, get some rest, Mafil. I'm sure after you rest, you'll feel better in the morning. Yeah, you're right, thank you. No one knows that I killed them. Well, except for Pierre, but he's such a madman, I don't think anyone will believe him. Who's going to believe him over me, the herbivore? I toss my body onto the bed, warms off, my body sinks into the mattress. His bed would only be better if Cosette were in it with me. She's kind of unhinged, don't you think? Poor Pascal. What? Why are you freaking crybaby? Why? What are you going to do? Oh, like it matters to you. If I tell you I'm going to eat you, huh? You wouldn't do that. You're a herbivore. God, are you you don't freaking get it, do you? I'm not an herbivore. Well, you're half of one. I'm just like you. Don't you ever crave for flesh of others? No, not at all. What the heck is wrong with you? Liar. You're just a goddamn liar. I ripped him apart in ways I don't even understand. Though first, so he wouldn't scream. I hated him so much, words couldn't even begin to define my pure disdain for him. So maybe my actions of tearing him to bits would be enough. I stand up, I wiped the drool and blood off my mouth. What the heck? Poor Pascal, no! He was gone, finally. I didn't have to deal with him anymore, and I was glad. It taught me something important, however. The meat of a man doesn't taste very good. But how the blood would splurt out from his heart racing. If only you were a woman, Pascal. The heck? Septembre 6, Mardi? Mardi. Oh. Oh, wait. Tuesday is Mardi. So, Mercredi is... I have no idea still. Oh, so that's why you named her after a day of the week? I understand why Papa isn't a big fan of Tuesdays now. After hearing everything she did, I'm not really sure if I can fully enjoy today. Am I as bad as she is? Are my actions just as cruel? Well, yeah, you are. Maybe equally as bad, I think. One could say she took the life of Papa, even though she created life. She used him, she forced him to be with me, and she caused such a horrible domino effect. I'm the only person he has left. And I feel as though he'll be all I have too. Papa is nowhere in the kitchen. What should I do? Check the living room. Papa? Ah, Mafil. He was sat on the couch, mindlessly watching TV with various snacks in front of him. He patted the cushion next to him. I sit down, hands folded in my lap. Are you okay, Papa? I'll be okay. Mardis are always hard for me. Oh, not ready? I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, Papa. You probably hate when it's Mercredi too, don't you? He fell and pinched my cheeks. His whole hands the sides of my face. He wiggled what little meat I had on my cheekbone around. A Mercredi is my favorite day, ma fille. Yeah, right, oh man. It's true. I couldn't hate a day of the week that shares the same name as my daughter. Okay. I'm sorry, Papa. For what? Being here? Ma fille. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm just a product of that. I'm sorry. I can't imagine how much it must hurt you to just know that I'm alive, let alone live in the same building as me and provide for me. Mercredi, I'm not your mother. I mean, you're not your mother. And make sure of that. You have never and ever, can never, hurt me like that. I love you. You're one of the few things I have left. I don't want to lose you. I know, Papa. I love you too. He grabbed my upper arm with his hand, pulling me in for a side hug. I felt his chin tremble as he rested his head on top of mine. I reached a hand up and scratched the top of his head. You won't ever lose me, Papa. I promise. Thank you, Muffin. Well, you should get going. Yes, I should. Bye-bye, Papa. Bye, Mercredi. I hope Papa feels better. I don't like seeing him so upset. I know I shouldn't, but I worry about him sometimes. I think he has such a big heart. He feels too much. There's even more officers here than yesterday. Hello there, little lady. Hello, sir. You're Mercredi Mortz, right? Correct? Yes, why? Have you not heard your friend Jacques Dupont? He passed away recently. Jacques. Very brutal murder. Oh, Eddie. Oh wait, Eddie. What used to be her father is one of his ex-friends. Oh, Pascal. Ah, is that what his friends would call him? Yes, sir. Well, since you seem to be pretty close to him, we'll have to take you into the station for investigation. I don't know. Can you arrest her? Because you really killed that poor guy. Please don't look so scared. You're not in trouble, ma'am. I don't think a lamb like you could hurt a fly. You just might have some information that could really help us out. Would you be willing to offer that help? Do I really have a choice, officer? Officer Beauvoir. Beauvoir? But you do have a choice. If it makes you feel any better, questioning the other students, so Cosette de Blanc and Pierre Chevalier in particular, I know them. Are they your friends as well? Well, you know what? I'll answer your questions, Officer Beauvoir. Didn't they incriminate him? Despite being a sheep, she looks very intimidating. I hear her adopted father is a carnivore. Maybe it's something to do with that. Alright, little lady, I just have a few questions to ask, okay? I understand. How do you know Jaquaz? Do you know anyone who wants to hurt? When do you last? How do you know him? We met when I was about 13. Who introduced you to each other? Cosette did. I didn't really like him. He and Cosette got along well, but he was very different from me. How so? He was just very talkative, short attention span, tended to flaunt things. Not that I mind that now, but as a kid it was upsetting. Papa didn't have a lot of money. He still doesn't. So to see another herbivore that had a parent that could provide, it was so frustrating, upsetting even. Have you ever met someone who just had everything you ever wanted? Maybe a time or two. I'm definitely jealous if someone doesn't have a job as gruesome as this. Right. She doesn't seem to appreciate that very much. So, Miss Mort, were you two only close as children? No. Well, can you elaborate? Oh, yes. I suppose I was only friends with him because Cosette was. She's been my friend for as long as I can remember, and I don't think that would change anytime soon. Any idea why Cosette got along with him and you didn't? I think she's a very likable person. I'm sure once you talk to her, you'll understand what I mean. Alright, next question. You know anyone who wants to hurt him? Pierre? Oh my god. Before that, Pierre, no! Pierre Chevalier? What makes you say that? I wasn't very close to either in those recent high school years, but from what I know, they were close. However, Pascal mentioned to me that Pierre was pretty violent, and I'm not sure if you heard, but Pierre did pin me down. I think he was going to fight me. Well, that's fascinating. Being raised by a wolf, I never thought they could be so violent. Well, Pierre is a red-maned wolf. I'm not sure they're really similar besides that name. I doubt that. Why? Pierre, I don't like him, but he acts a lot like my papa. Is your father violent? No, not that part. Just his demeanor. Ah, right. I take it you get along with most canines well? With your caretaker being a wolf. I suppose I do. I don't mind them. Well, I hope me being a big Malamute doesn't scare you? Malamute is a type of dog, isn't it? It doesn't, Officer Beauvoir. Alright, next question. When do you last see Jaquez? Tilt my head as I watch her think for a moment. Friday the 2nd? Why are you so unsure? I was just kind of stressed. I had a bad dream, and Saturday was going to be a pretty big day. What was going to happen on Saturday? Nothing bad, just a day at Cosette's. Well, if you saw him on the 2nd, that was the day he was murdered. Do you have an alibi at all? I was at school all day. Pierre and Ariel Noir can attest to that. Ariel and Noir? They're 2 students at the school. Do you know their last names? No, why would I? She knows them well enough for an alibi, but doesn't know these two's last name. Well, if you don't have an alibi, we do have to keep you until we believe you're not the culprit. I'm a sheep. I didn't expect a lamb like her to be capable of yelling so hard. I know, Miss Mort, but it's just the rules. I don't think we're responsible. You're responsible, we just don't have anything proving otherwise. Fine, but I have a life, you know. I know that. Well, that's all the questions I have to ask you, Miss Mort. Alright. We'll still be keeping you here, hopefully not for long. We'll have more questions to ask you. Understood. Eddie, there's the big guy I've been looking for. Francois? Hello, Francois? Francois? Call him Francois. I just don't know. Pronounce it wrong. How did the interview with the sheep go? Not sure. She's strange. Maybe a little paranoid, but I suppose it's a high-stress situation. Well, don't trust her. That girl could be an accomplice. That's right, Francois. You know what's up. I think a little lamb like her could help in something like that. Wouldn't put it past her. We've seen stranger things happen in this dump, haven't we? That's a good point. Anyhow, you gotta go and interview that wolf kid now. Am I going to have to interview everybody? Yep, this case is pretty much gonna fall on your hands. Both of these kids have some connection to wolves, right? You're just about the closest thing we got. That Mercredi kid was adopted by a wolf. Pierre is a wolf. And those kids in Mercredi mentioned, Ariel and Noir? Yeah. Ariel is a sheep and Noir is a wolf. Apparently, those two hang out a lot. Ariel's an uncommon name, so we tracked down the kid pretty quickly. They've been posting pictures with Noir for the past few days now. Huh, that's odd. Exactly. That's why you're on the case, big guy. Now, get on with the interviews for Pierre. Alright. Tried to play blame poor Pierre. I slowly inched my way into the interrogation room, looking around anxiously. With deep breaths, I sit down in the chair. Hello, sir. Hello there. I just have to ask you a few questions, alright, Mr. Chevalier? I'm sorry I'm pronouncing these names wrong. Of course. He's way more well-behaved than I would expect. How do you know Nicolas? I met him at school. And that was it? Well, I would see him around town, but I was always a little too skittish to talk to him. You know I'm pretty lanky myself, but considering I'm a bit of a stronger and bigger than him, I was worried I would scare him off. He was pretty much just bone. Every time I saw him, I wanted to protect him as much as I could. I would always think about how fragile he looked, and I failed at protecting him. No, buddy, it's not your job to protect him, it's ours. Looks like we're both just a bunch of failures, aren't we? Let's go back on topic, kid. How do you know him? I told you, school. I saw him around town prior, but I never talked to him until he talked to me at school. Right. Noted. Alright, next question. No one else heard him. Mercredi mort. He answered me before I could even fully finish my question. Alright, Mr. Mr. C. What makes you say that? She's evil, sir. Pure evil. In the last school we went to, there was a murder. Oh. You don't think that could have been a coincidence? No. He slammed his fist on the table, shaking everything for a moment. There's no need to be so upset, sir. With all due respect, I have every freaking right to be upset right now. I'm not saying you don't have the right to be upset, you just... Please, try to keep an even head. Fine. But you need to keep an eye on her. She's not what she says she is. She's not what you expect her to be. Alright, I understand. Why do you think that, though? She said you saw her when Pascal was murdered. Great, another effing lie from her. Was she at school? Yes. However, that's where Pascal was murdered, if you aren't aware. I'm aware. My point is, there was a huge chunk of the day where I didn't have any contact with her. Somewhere around the estimated time of death of Pascal, too. Think about it. Pascal and Anna were murdered the same exact way, Eden. And the only connection between those two cases is her. And you? Canines do have a higher crime rate. I mean, have you ever heard of a sheep committing a crime? You're a canine, sir. A sheep did commit these crimes. What can't you understand about it? Goodness gracious. Alright, next question. When do you last see Chicles? I saw him wandering the halls on the 2nd, but I haven't talked to him since the first day of school. I think that the student Oriel told him something about me being violent or something to do with my previous experience at school. I'm not sure, but he avoided me very heavily. If he trusted me, I could have just maybe I could have saved him, but now he's gone, permanently. And it's all because of Mercredi. Do you think she feels pity, sir? No, she doesn't. Don't sound so unsure. I don't think she feels any remorse for anything she does. She's such a sick individual. I really hope you can see past her species and see the absolute monster within her. Anyway, Chevalier, I'm supposed to be asking the questions. Right, sorry, sir. Did you say Oriel? Yes, sir. Miss Mort mentioned Oriel as well. Mentioned them as an alibi? Of course. Those two probably have some mutual scheme against me. Geez, I've never met a kid that's so paranoid. Well, that's all I had to ask for today, Pierre Chevalier. Right. Bye, kiddo. Thank you for the help. Yes, sir, of course. Can he see past her? That Pierre kid's a real paranoid freak. You're telling me, Francois. We'll call him Francois, I don't know. Let's say it right. Bet that he's the weirdo who did it. I can't really say I disagree with you, friend. Well, no time for that. You gotta talk to the bunny now. Oh god, don't you think she'll be terrified of someone like me? Definitely. But hey, maybe that'll be how we get information out of her. A big scary guy like you. I'll tell you anything you ask me to tell you. Alright, Francois. I move carefully, trying not to scare the little rabbit in front of me. With a deep breath, I sit down in the chair. Hope her nose isn't bleeding. Oh, her nose is bleeding. Hello, little miss thing. Hello, sir. Oh my goodness, are you bleeding? Yes, but it's okay. I just have high blood pressure. Looking closely, I see her entire body shaking as she breathes heavily. I can practically see her heart beating out of her chest. Well, there's no need to be so scared. I slip over a box of tissues on the table. Thank you, officer. She stands up and wipes her nose for a few seconds. She throws tissue into the trash can before sitting back down. Okay, sorry. I'm ready, sir. How do you know, Checkless? Oh, I met him in middle school. I was, I think, 13. He was about 11. Oh, you're 19? Yes. Very behind in school. I have ADD as well as a huge family to worry about. It's a struggle, but my parents pay good money for me to try and learn. Of course, my mom tends to ruin my education by constantly calling me for help around the house. Sounds like a real pain. It really is. What was I talking about? How you met Pascal? Oh, right. He was way smarter than I was, even though he was younger. He was a fun guy, but he also helped me with school a lot. He held me down, you know? He always kept me on track is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I have someone like that in my life. Exactly. So I've known him for a few years. We were pretty close ever since we met. Hung out every day since. We've always gone to the same school. Well, I mean, ever since we became friends, of course. Was it a coincidence or a choice? Choice. Didn't want to be separated. I don't think I could have handled being separated from him. Because he helped you academically? Yeah, and he was a really good friend too. Alright, next question. Do you know anyone who wants to hurt him? I don't think I do. He's super sweet. Surely there has to be someone. Well, maybe Pierre? I'm probably just saying that because he scares me. I know Pascal and Mercredi didn't always get along, but I don't think she could kill someone. Any clue as to why those two didn't get along? No. My only guess is Mercredi was jealous since our dads kind of forced us to be friends ever since we were little. Forced? Do you not want to be friends with Miss Mort? No, I do. We've just been raised around each other since we were babies. But yeah, I don't know. I think she didn't like the idea of me being best friends with anyone else but her. That's a bit troublesome, don't you think? Sort of? I don't know. It's a lot more complicated than you think, sir. Well, can you at least try to explain? I don't know. She's never really emoted much. She still doesn't, but there are certain things she takes to extremes. One time she ripped her horns off when we were just kids. I don't have a problem with the fact that she did that, but there were safer ways. She just was so frustrated at the time. I think she has to do something about it, and fast. Right. Okay, the next question. The last time you saw Hydra class? The first, I think? Maybe the second in the morning? See, your memory isn't the greatest. No, not at all, sir. Well, alright. Do you know of anybody who could have seen him last? No, sir. Either Mercredi or Pierre, I guess. Alright. Well, that's all I had to ask for right now. Cosette de Blanc. Okay, sir. You did a great job. Thank you for the help, little lady. Anytime. After about an hour of sitting in this cold room, Officer Bobier finally came back in. Alright, Miss Mort. We're holding off questioning for the rest of the day. We both have more important matters. Right, thank you, sir. Is it gonna be solved? As I walk out of the room, it feels good to be able to stretch my legs. I had to sat perfectly still in that room, just thinking about everything. All my actions, all my words. Yet they don't suspect anything. Mercredi. Hello, Pierre. Come on, you two. Let's not fight. We're all upset about what happened to Pascal, but please, can we try to be formal? You want me to be formal with the person who killed my best friend? You don't know that for sure. How do we know you did it? There. Really now. You've been blaming me this whole time. Isn't that suspicious? Guys, please. The big bad wolf blamed the sheep for his crimes. Let's see who still will freaking believe you, Pierre. Let's see how long it will take before someone sees through your act, Mercredi. Just cut it out. You're being a bunch of children. Are you getting an attitude with me, Cosette? Oh, what? No. Even if she was, she would have every right to. Oh my god. What? Oh, shoot. I don't want to kill Cosette. Pierre. I feel bad for Pierre, too. But I think this will at least prove. I don't know. I don't know. Let's save this. I want to see if there's different outcomes for the actions that we do. So let's first do Pierre. Oh god. I jumped on his shoulders, grabbing his hair with my left hand while I dug my right hand into his eyes. If thy right hand offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. I let him claw my eyes in an attempt to throw me off, but his fighting resistance only made me dig my fingers in deeper. I could hear all the meat mushing around his eye socket as I wiggled my digits around in there. About that time, I feel two hands grab me by the waist and pull me off him. I watch as he holds his eye socket, various people in the office rushing to help him and call somebody. I turn around to see Officer Berbiard. Miss Mort, it was you, wasn't it? You're that freaking stupid, huh? Of course it was me. It always has been. I killed Anna, I killed Pascal, and I would have happily killed more. Mercredi Mort. Heard a metal clanging before an ice-cold sensation was felt around my wrist, followed by a clink. You're under arrest for the murder of Anna Brisbois, Jacques Dupont, and an attempted murder of Pierre Chevalier. Understood. Oh my god, I just feel bad for her dad. The poor guy. Now she's in a jail cell. It's been 10 years since I was put under arrest, almost to the exact date. It's September 8th, a Wednesday, or in other words, un mercredi. Oh, it was Wednesday. I got everything wrong. I hear a key jingling before my cell door opens. It's good to see you again. Please, don't act like we're friends. Oh, he's an officer now. Oh, but we are friends, aren't we? We were before you killed people. Right, but of course. I watch as she slowly enters my cell and puts cuffs around my wrist. Now, before I take you to die, yes, your father sent in a letter today, warned me to make sure you got it. Papa, he really blames himself for all this. This poor guy. His handwriting's terrible. But, it's so sad. It's no one's fault but mine. I know that now. I wish I could tell him this. Is there something you want me to relay back to him after your passing? I am not sure. Just make sure he knows it's not his fault. I had no control over what I did, but ultimately it was my body that committed these actions. He's a wonderful father. He deserved a better child than this. Alright, I'll let him know. Thank you, Max. miss you even after all these years, like a lover. In a strange way, yes. All those promises about me, about being my friend forever, I guess she's really keeping that to the very end, huh? Wait, how come she never tries to contact me? You scare her. And I can't say I blame her. You hurt Pierre really bad when you got arrested. He lost his eye. God, tell them both I'm sorry. I lost all control that day. As much as I hate it, my sister forgives you. What? She forgives you for everything you've done. I'm just trying to convince myself it's her weird way of grieving. But deep down, it knows just because she doesn't have it in her to hate me. She still has all the pictures of you two, borderline obsessed with them at this point. Really now. It's not funny, Mercredi. It is. It's ironic how I went from being so obsessed with her too. Well, you're probably lying. It doesn't matter. Regardless, you know what today is, right? Yes, I do. Alright, and you're sure you're ready? Yes, I am. Alright. Maxime strapped me down to the chair. It's strange to think that where I am right now, all my actions, all my words, all my thoughts, that's what landed me here. I've never been to a prison before. It's so scary in here. I think my little brother works in a place like this. Cosette, are you alright? Let's be honest, we're not. She was my best friend, Pierre. Of course I'm not okay. I understand. I lost Pascal and now I've lost Mercredi too. I'm sorry, Cosette. I'll be okay. Eventually. As I walk into the room, I see Mercredi strapped down. The helmet is already on her head. She waves a hand up, smiling at me. It's good to see you, Cosette. Don't make me talk to her. Okay. I missed you too, Pierre. Right. Mercredi, Mort, do you have any final words? Yes, I do. It's rather long, though. Well, we have nothing but time. Alright, I've lived all my life as a hybrid. Society as a whole, except animals who are mixed with 2 herbivores or 2 carnivores. But an animal who's derived from both, that's just an abomination. Facts are not horrible, yes, but I'm not this way because of who I am. At the end of the day, isn't it society's fault that I'm the way I am? I had to live my whole life in hiding, and my identity only outed because I'm a criminal. If you all found out before I did other people's actions, would you care? Would you still find me repulsive the way you do now? I think all would still be just as disgusting. Well, anyways, Cosette, it was all for you. It always was. And Maxime, please check on my father every now and then. Right. Maxime, I won't say his name, goes to pull the lever. I immediately close my eyes as tightly as I can. I don't want to see what happens. Do I open my eyes? Oh. I just opened her eyes. Oh man, is that bloody? Oh my god. Jesus effing Christ. Cosette? What? Are you alright? Obviously I'm not alright. What? What's wrong? I just... I sigh as I walk out of that room. I knew she was going to die, but I didn't know it would be so gruesome. Either. And even though she was missing her eyes, it felt like she was staring right through me. Cosette, Pierre, don't run off from me in a place like this, alright? I'm sorry, I just didn't expect that to be so... Ah, my phone fell. Alright. Horrific? Yeah, that. Well, it's just about how justice is. It's an eye for an eye. She got what she deserved. And did she really? What? Did she really deserve something as horrible as that? Do you not remember what she did to Pascal or Anna? Anna, she didn't deserve to die. She deserved to get beat up. Not die, you know? Or hell, why do I have to wear this damn eye patch? She was more than her actions. She was a dumb teenager. I was trying to justify, girl. You think murder is simply childish stupidity? For her, it was. She couldn't control what she did. She admitted that. She was manipulating you. She's not that evil, Pierre. Pascal was my friend too, I get it. You don't get it. He was more than... Well, I wanted him to be more than that. I just lost Mercredi. I knew both of them for way longer than you did. How do you think I feel, Pierre? Annoying. Get how frustrating it is, but you can learn to forget people. You can learn to see past someone's issues. Murder isn't just some negative personality trait, you said. I'm not an idiot, I know that. Do you really? We're going home. Thank you for being here, Pierre. Well, we both lost a friend and a lover. Two sides of the same coin, I suppose. Yeah, sadly. Do you want coffee or anything? Sure, I'll take a black cup of coffee. Ugh, you like your coffee black? Is that really such an issue? No, I'm sorry. Start making a cup of coffee by using the machine we have for it. Thank you. Of course. I've been thinking about what? I want to protect people like you and Pascal. I don't know if you want to do the same, but what if we were police officers? I stare at him blankly. Pierre, what? We could stop you from getting hurt? We could stop people like Mercredi? Pierre. Besides, I place his coffee on the table. I'm not meant for anything like that. What if you were more like a detective? Pierre, you're not making any sense. You're probably right. I'm sorry. You look so upset I didn't agree to his plan. Fine, I'll do it. Just as long as you promise you'll do the fighting and I'll never get hurt. I promise. Pinky promise? Yes, Pinky promise. Alright then, it's just a matter of time. Thank you, Cassette. You're welcome, Pierre. Oh, that's the end. Oh my god. Honestly, was not expecting it to make a turn for the worse. Oh wow, literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. I guess in a way, she can blame society for what happened. But, okay, let me just see what happens when she chomps down on Cosette. Cosette changed her attitude about her. Let's kill Cosette. Oh god. It's the most delicate though. With barely any thought, I pinned Cosette down. She immediately got a nosebleed, but the scent of the blood just drove me even more insane. Cosette, I love seeing you like this. Mercredi, you're scaring me. Oh, okay. Oh god. Turns you on. There, this better be some sort of weird joke. It's not an effing joke, Cosette. I've been wanting to taste you for so long now. Please, please, please just let me taste you. As soon as I say that, I feel someone grab the back of my shirt and lift me up. Miss Moore, it was you, wasn't it? It was me. I killed them, Anna, Pascal. I even tried to hurt Cosette just now. Mercredi Mort. I heard metal clinking. Okay, she's more sorry in this. Because she decided to attack Cosette. Oh my god, ew. Yeah, I guess we could blame society as a whole for how she is. Alrighty, please don't act like we're friends. I just really feel bad for her dad and her friend Cosette. She still never got over her. Man, this was really crazy. Alright. Much as you hate her. Alright. picture of where I am. It feels so disorienting here, wherever here is. Huh? Mama? Mercredi? Is that really you? You know me? No, I don't, but it's like looking into a mirror. I was the one who chose your name, so I assume you go by that, right? Yes, I'm Mercredi. It's good to see you here. I always hoped my child would end up in this place. Really? Of course. She sits down and pats her leg. Why am I crying? Mercredi, are you alright? I'm not sure. Oh, honey. She runs her fingers through my hair. I never thought my mom would be younger than me. Well, I died when I was giving birth to you. I suppose your spirit is just stuck at whatever age you died at. I'm sort of glad I died so young. I'm one of the hottest angels here. Mama, that's just weird. I see you're just as lighthearted as your father. Papa, oh God, I'm going to miss him. He'll be here soon, I promise. How do you know? Well, I don't. I'm just trying to comfort you. Thank you, I appreciate it. Why don't you tell me about your life? Oh God, there's so much to tell. I was born in a world where I had to pretend and lie to climb to the top. I fell in love and ruined it. I killed people. And I was electrocuted to death. That's eventful. You're telling me. It's so strange. I can feel her and touch her. Is this reality? Is this my infinity? What about your life, Mama? I don't know much about you. Well, I was an only child. I spent what little of my life I had partying, sinning, and just being a horrible person. Me too, Mama. You look like you've been through hell. Gee, thanks. You're still the prettiest daughter that I ever could have asked for. Mama... It's okay. Everything else is okay. Alright? It's not. I was a horrible child. I'm such a disappointment to you, Papa. You're not a disappointment to me. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry, Mama. It's okay, Mercredi. You're safe here. I'm here with you. Oh, they're in hell. Yeah, I thought so. That's kind of sad. Well, yeah. I don't know if there's more than one or two endings for this game, but yeah, that's the end. Of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I think with Mercredi, yeah, I guess society is at fault for some way for her keeping her identity a secret. Because she really couldn't come out and say, oh, I'm half of herbivore and carnivore, because that would just, people would be like, treat her as an oddity and as some type of being thing, basically. I don't know why maybe because she had to hide her true self, which led her to just, her carnivorous side to just, like, come out like that in a very aggressive manner. Because other carnivores in this world were just fine and dandy, but she was just, I don't know, couldn't control it and which is very animalistic in a way. I think it's really just sad all in all, really. I'm sad for everyone. Well, Anna, she deserved to get beat up, not killed. And her mother, Mardi, well, I'll be honest, I feel like she deserved to die. I don't know. She's just not a good person in general. She deserves to be in hell. Yeah, this is really interesting to play. If you guys want to play this, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I don't know why, it just reminded me so much of Beastars in a way. Because of how the world is in this game and in the manga and the show too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye!